Hi everyone, welcome to week 12 of English 101 Online. So this video is going to introduce you to our last essay assignment for English 101. We've got about 5 weeks left in the semester, including this week, but essay 4 will cover the next 4 weeks, and then you'll have a 5th week to work on revising any of the essays that you'd like to from this semester. So let's go ahead and get started. So for this week, a couple assignments that I'd like you to do. Take the week 12 check-in survey on Brightspace. It's very quick, just a couple questions, gives me an update on you and your life and how things are going. Then you want to read 2 things for this week. Understanding Rhetoric is a textbook that's kind of in a comic form, and it talks about fake news. And also just this idea of evaluating information that you find online, which is going to be really relevant to the essay that we're starting. And then also a second article called The Argument Culture. This is by a linguist named Deborah Tannen, and she talks about this sort of divisiveness that we have in rhetoric in the US especially, having sort of this us versus them mentality. And that is something that I really want you all to kind of work on breaking out of in essay 4. Then you'll have reading reflection 10 due Friday. This will get you started with your topic for essay 4. And then you want to submit the outline for your essay between Saturday and Monday. I will say the outline for this essay might take you a little longer than previous outlines we've done, only because essay 4 is going to be a little longer, a little more involved. So let's talk about the readings first. One of the readings is, like I said, called Understanding Rhetoric, Fake News. So a couple questions I want you to think about while you read it is how you would define this idea of fake news or how you recognize it. Some other words that we use for it is misinformation. I think some people might misconstrue the idea of fake news as something that they disagree with. So I think sometimes we read a news story and we're like, oh, I don't like that, so I'm just going to call it fake news. When in reality, fake news is more this intentionally misleading information, something that is truly fake. And this piece also talks about how new technologies allow misinformation to spread. And these other questions are really just to kind of reflect on the piece itself. So this is sort of a jumping off point for essay 4. We are going to be choosing a topic, a controversial or hot button issue that you're interested in, and you'll be writing a web article about it that looks at this issue from multiple perspectives. So essentially, you are going to be trying to avoid spreading fake news. So the other reading, this is a screenshot from that. It's this kind of idea that fake news kind of argues that there's only one way to look at a situation. And I really like this quote here. It says, instead, believers in such theories often stop considering counter-arguments or other perspectives. They stop listening rhetorically and weighing different versions of ideas. The key to not only rhetorical listening, but good research. So this next essay that we're going to start, I really want you guys to think about other perspectives to the argument that you're making. So what would people who disagree with your point of view say, and how can you address those counter-arguments? This is really important to not only having a well-rounded perspective, but also building your own persuasiveness by addressing, this is what someone else might say, but here's why I believe what I believe to be true. And then the other reading is called The Argument Culture. So a couple questions to think about. What is the argument culture? What does Tannen mean by this? When is it appropriate to fight in our rhetoric, and when is it too much? She also has a section on the argument culture shaping who we are. So how does it shape who we are? How does it influence our behavior? And then finally, how can we end it? I think sometimes when we're asked to look at controversial or hot topics, we shy away from even trying to voice our opinions because we're afraid of being shut down or we're afraid of that opposition to what we believe. But to be effective as a communicator and to be heard, to feel like you're being heard, you need to be able to do that in a way that doesn't constantly butt heads, but instead encourages dialogue, encourages discussion, and encourages conversation. So when you've read those two articles, I'd love for you to take a minute to look over the assignment sheet for Essay 4. So the assignment here says a web publication of your choice is looking for articles that cover the current discussion surrounding a hot issue or topic. The site wants a piece that would show up in an internet search on this topic and would give interested readers a solid understanding of what people in different circles and contexts are saying about it. So for this final assignment, you're going to write a web article about a hot issue or topic you're interested in. The article must synthesize information from multiple types of sources, must include embedded media, and also include purposeful links. So let's talk about what that means. Basically, you're going to choose a hot topic or a controversial issue that you can discuss from multiple perspectives. I'm calling this a web article because what we're also going to do is incorporate some visual aspects to your article. So imagine that you type something into Google and you see an article by the New York Times. When you open that article, likely there's a couple images with captions, there's headers, there's probably something to visually encourage you to read the article. That's what we're aiming for here. So it's going to be an online genre, which I know might be different for a lot of us, but hopefully it'll give you a chance to be a little more creative. I'll walk you guys through a couple different ways to do this, but I'll show you how to use an app called Microsoft Sway, which you have access to for free with your Swick account. Other things, you want to aim for between 1,000 and 1,500 words. That sounds like a lot. It is essentially about 4 pages. So 1,000 words is about 4 pages double spaced, which is a little longer than we've had previously, but part of when you're looking at multiple perspectives is you kind of need more space to talk about the other side. And then this essay is going to encourage you to use outside sources and links. This is not, though, fully, this isn't just you retelling me what other people are saying. I still want you to have an opinion, to have a perspective that you're using outside sources as support, but not for just, here's what other people say. All right, so take a second, read over the assignment sheet, take some time with it, and start thinking about topics that you might write about. To get started, look over, there's some examples in our Week 12 module on Brightspace. These are from the last few semesters. A couple of them are Microsoft Word documents, a couple of them are Microsoft Sway, but hopefully they give you an idea of what I'm aiming for. Start thinking about something you're interested in. What are, some current topics that maybe you wanted to write about in Essay 3 but didn't get a chance to, and this could open up some more options for you. But think about, is this something that you can be objective about? For me personally, I'm really interested in the Israeli-Palestine conflict and the issues happening in Gaza right now. And I've thought, if I were to write a web article, I would really like to write about that issue. But I also caution myself because I do have a strong opinion and I want to make sure that I can represent multiple perspectives, not just 2 sides, but maybe even 3 or 4 different perspectives on the conflict because it's complicated, as many things in life often are. If I want to choose something not so political, I might write about how sometimes people demonize pit bulls. I have a pitty who is sitting next to me right now, and he is my best friend and the sweetest little boy. So I might write about how we look at pit bulls. Other ideas, I've had students write about when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. I've seen people write about a movie that they saw recently or the new season of a show. So it doesn't have to be something political, but you can go that route if you'd like. And then make sure you complete the readings and reflection 10 for this week. This will help you get started. All right. If you do have questions or concerns, or you're like, man, I have no idea what I'm doing for this essay, please email me and I'm happy to help you out. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys online.